his favorite vase.
She always says don't play ball in the house.
Pork chops and applesauce. That's swell.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. Hey, you guys. Oh, my nose!
Welcome to Here's the Story, a Brady Bunch podcast. Hey, I'm not going to tear this thing apart. It's my favorite show. Got a short one for you here with episode 16, Mike's Horoscope. We start the episode with Mike looking out of a sliding glass door from his upstairs bedroom. They must have a balcony up there that we'll never see. Carol's in bed reading her horoscope, to which Mike scoffs at first, but then he wants to read his. And it says, a strange woman will come into his life tomorrow. He giggles and goes right to sleep, while Carol lays there worried, very worried. Now it's the next day, and she's in the kitchen putting frosting on a cake when Mike calls from work. While they're talking, a strange lady comes into Mike's office, and he hangs up on Carol in mid-sentence. This lady is Brady Galini, and she wants Mike to design her new cosmetics factory, shaped like a pink powder puff. You must remember this episode. It's a classic. And let me just point out here that Robert Reed is a very talented actor. He really does some great work here. Bebe was played by Abby Lane, who is still alive at 88 years old, and played the senior stewardess in the Nightmare at 20,000 Feet segment of the Twilight Zone movie. Her assistant was played by Joe Ross, who died just a few months ago at the age of 94. Now Mike is home, and he's helping Carol with the dishes. Alice is out on a date with Sam, and we haven't seen a single kid yet. Carol finds out that the strange woman that has come into Mike's life is the famous and irresistible Brady Galini, and she gets even more worried. It's now the next day, a Saturday, and Bebe calls to force Mike to abandon his fishing trip with the boys to go into work and hear some more of her new ideas. Carol, who is now very jealous, but always ready to solve a family problem, takes the boys fishing and gets Alice to take her place, taking the girls horseback riding. After that day comes to an end, and now that half of the episode is over, we see some kids for the first time, as the girls come through the front door with a saddle-sore Alice. It's interesting to see all four of them dressed just like Bob Vila. A minute later, the boys are carrying a Bob Vila-attired seasick Carol through the door. She doesn't feel good. She skips dinner and goes straight to bed. And hours later, she's tossing and turning, unable to sleep because Mike still isn't at home. Cue the bedroom door to open, and in comes Mike. He spent the day at Bebe's apartment, as she uses her apartment as an office. Carol's upset and happy at the same time. Yeah, Mike's an open book. There's really nothing to worry about with him. The next day we get an establishing shot of Mike's awesome-looking place of work, and inside we can see that he's dead tired as he's walking down the hallway. Right up to his office, that Bebe's taken over, where she's waiting for him. He's stayed up all night making sketches for her new factory, which she immediately rejects and sends him back to the drawing table for more. Now, Mike draws fast and good. It's so cool that he can draw. I'm an artist myself, but I don't have any architectural training. Carol's up all evening trying to help out each of the kids by herself, and Mike doesn't get home until she's in bed again. He's exhausted. They're just all kind of having a rough time right now. I don't know how he did it, but Robert Reed looked so sad here, it was like he wasn't even acting at all. Now it's the next day. It's the weekend again, and Mike's spending time with the kids and Carol, and everyone's pretty happy, until Bebe knocks at the door and comes in with more work for him to do. Fortunately, the kids ruin her hair and makeup with some accidental slapstick antics, and she decides to take her business elsewhere. Though Mike was pretty worried about the consequences of losing this contract for his company earlier, right now he's just relieved and looking at the bright side. Later that night, Mike reads his new horoscope to Carol, only he's making one up to make her jealous again and goes right to sleep with one eye open. Carol picks up the paper and catches his trick, and they have a big laugh. And now all is well in the Brady house, just as it should be. As much as I like watching the kids, this was a nice departure in which we get to see adult problems with the parents. Until next time.